today we are going to have the talk, folks. That's right. Today we are going to talk about, that's right, capsaicin. So let's talk about it. Let's start from the beginning. Let's go back. As a matter of fact, let's go way back. Way back. So let me just give a full disclaimer before I start this video that I am not a medical professional. I am not a doctor. And I'm only going to speak about, medical studies that have been conducted and personal experiences. So with that being said, let's go back to, the 1980s. Some of you know the story that the first hot pepper that was really hot that I had was when I was 7 years old. It was grown by a guy named Gus, an old Italian guy. And I do not remember all of the, at the time I thought were wives' tales of the health benefits of capsaicin, but Gus grew the hottest peppers I ever had back then, and he ate them faithfully every day on every single thing. And he swore by the health benefits, and he would ramble off and tell me all the different things, and I didn't really, I can't say I didn't completely believe him, but I didn't. But I wasn't, like, you're a liar, Gus. It wasn't like that. But this man was very healthy for an older man, and he would go out there and he had a big garden, and he worked, and so do I remember what he said, everything he said? No. But I do remember him saying they're good for this, they're good for that. And I think one of the things that from what I remember, I think he said blood pressure. With that being said, I heard of health benefits, and you're talking about, this is like 1980, 1981. And it's the first time I ever heard that. And then years later, so you're talking about maybe 1998 or 97. It was either 1997 or 98. My good friend Vincenzo Casamento, man, rest in peace. He had a pizzeria, and a bunch of us worked there, and we cooked really good food. I mean, it wasn't just a pizzeria. We had, trust me, it was top notch. But Enzo was going to the doctor, and he had a good doctor out of Utica, New York, and everything, because he was having problems with heartburn and acid reflux, okay? And this guy came in there. His name was Ed. So anybody that remembers Ed from Johnstown, New York, Ed's High Performance, he owned a high performance auto parts store, and sold all kinds of fancy schmancy gadgets for cars and stuff. Ed was a hot pepper lover, a hot pepper head. And Ed had brought him in some hot sauce. He said, listen, this is it's lower acidity, so it's got more capsaicin in it than anything you have in this restaurant. He said, take some of this and put it on your sandwich every day, or take a tablespoon of it. He said capsaicin is an alkaline. He said that this will help counteract what's going on with the acid reflux and the heartburn. And Enzo's problem was that he would load up his sandwiches every day with mayonnaise. That's what the doctor told him, at least. But lo and behold, Enzo started taking a tablespoon of this mash every day, and he wouldn't have the heartburn. And Ed said, if you have fresh pods, you have fresh hot peppers, that they would work even better. But don't go taking no Red Hot or Texas Pete's or anything like that, because the acidity is so low on it, and it's got so much vinegar in it, that is not going to help with heartburn. Now, it still has capsaicin, so that those health benefits would, be okay, but that's not going to, if you sit there and chug, a vinegar-based hot sauce to get rid of heartburn, it's not going to, and in some cases, it could make it even worse. With that being said, these are things early on that I heard and that stuck with me, and one of those was about eating the hot peppers. I noticed that whenever I got heartburn, usually it would be from eating like gravy on mashed potatoes or something like that, or pepperoni. There's not many things that give me heartburn. Fresh black beans, so if I soak them from dried, They give me heartburn so bad that I have thought I was having a heart attack a few times because I had chest pains that were phenomenal. Now, canned black beans don't bother me. I don't know why. With that being said, I found that when I have heartburn, that if I eat a hot pepper, that my heartburn is gone. Okay, so this is personal experience stuff. Now, let's talk more about the health benefits. There's studies that have shown that capsaicin actually can obliterate and kill certain cancer cells. All right, and this is you guys can Google this stuff if you want, or I'll put some studies in the link in the description or maybe in the comments. But I would say if you want to do your own research, you can go to Google and you can find quite a bit on Google, and you can even get into some of the case studies a little bit more thorough than I have. So imagine something that can actually fight cancer like that. So we're talking about now the health benefits of capsaicin and hot peppers, of course. Hot peppers themselves have a lot of vitamin C in them, which is very good for you. I've heard that there's some antioxidant properties, and of course you have it's anti-inflammatory also. And another thing, and this is everyone knows this, is that they do actually speed up your metabolism. Now, anyone that watches the channel regularly knows that last year I joined the League of Fire and I went crazy doing a lot of League of Fire challenges. And even before that, when I'm reviewing Super Hots, I was eating a lot of potatoes. So last year I did actually gain weight from prep in my stomach and eating so much. But before that, so let's go back to 2021 is when I started having super hot peppers readily available. And I actually, well, my work does this health screening, and every year, and the doctors come, they do check all your, triglycerides, blood pressure, and blood sugar, all that good stuff, your weight. And what was surprising was, at this point, I wasn't, doing any challenges. So I wasn't prepping. I was eating the same as I always have. But from started eating those super hots over like a 3-month period, and guess what? I had lost 12 pounds. My triglycerides were great. Blood pressure was great. They said that you're in better health than ever. And I was so shocked. I knew that the capsaicin helps speed up your metabolism. I've known that for a long time. But I just didn't realize how the good effects that it had on me until I got to see it right there up front in my face. Bam. I'm the living proof of that. So we know about that. There's also some studies that show that it can help with psoriasis and many other things. We know about pain relief, right? Many muscle rubs and balms have capsaicin in them. Now, I'm not sure the brands, if it's maybe Bengay, Icy Hot. You can look it up, but the active ingredient that makes them feel like makes you feel warm is actually capsaicin, and so they are good for pain relief also. The list goes on and on and on and on, and the sad thing about it is that big pharma as a whole, they don't want you to know this. We just seen it time and time again. We've seen some false reports come out, where people say that this is bad for your stomach, we've seen that they've said it's bad for acid reflux, okay? And that it doesn't help with heartburn. That's just a lie. I'm telling you right now, anybody that, when you have a heartburn the next time, go eat some peppers, eat some fresh peppers, or eat something that's, I don't know, maybe chop them up or something. You don't want to do a lot of vinegar, and you don't want to do a lot of tomatoes, so you don't want to make a super hot salsa if you got a bunch of tomatoes in it. However, I found, this is crazy, I found that people with sensitivity to tomatoes, when they actually chop up super hots and they make a salsa and they have tomatoes in it, they have no issues whatsoever. And I think that it's maybe the alkaline, the capsaicin is fighting against the acid, and so on and so forth. This is why we have what's called cap cramps. Cap cramps happens because you're putting so much alkaline in your stomach acid's not knowing what to do with it. A lot of times it pushes it, and it's going to the lining of your stomach. So you feel like you're like, I got the worst stomach ache in the world, and it hurts very bad. That's if you're eating excessive amounts of it. If you're doing challenges, if you're eating like a fresh, imagine eating like a fresh 7-pot Prima Tally, Carolina Reaper, whatever, on an empty stomach. Yeah, I would say go ahead and try it sometime, see what happens. I've done it before. I've actually woke up in the morning. One time I actually woke up and I put some Prima Tally pepper powder in my coffee, and I had nothing on my stomach. I'm sitting there drinking my coffee, and next thing you know, I felt the shivers and stomach started hurting. I said, whoa, wait a second. Yeah, that Primo, baby. So anyways, the list goes on, and I want you guys to comment below, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that I missed, and a lot of stuff I didn't go into detail too much on it. I just wanted to throw out there the basic health benefits of capsaicin. And like I said before, I am not a doctor, I am not a medical professional. I'm going off of studies that I've seen, that have been done, that have been completed, and I'm also going off of personal experience. So it's one of the best things for constipation also. We've seen that time and time again, where people are constipated, and especially disabled people, a lot of people that can't move. We have a disabled daughter, and we give her capsaicin sometimes, and it helps right away. And we've seen it. People have said it. If you're in any health groups or different groups on Facebook, you'll see people ask what helps with constipation. And a lot of times what people are throwing out there is some kind of store-bought medicine that's really not good for you. A lot of times it has genetically modified products in it. It can have a lot, of course, if you got genetically modified products, you got Roundup, and chemicals that can be harmful to you. So big pharma is not your best friend when it comes to a lot of these things. There is a lot of benefits of capsaicin, and not all, and I'll say this, not all of big pharma is against capsaicin, but a lot of them are. A lot of them have seen these studies come out that they, in the beginning, were like, no, that's not true, that's a wives' tale. Then the studies come out, there's proof of it, and they're like, oh, well, we don't believe that, and so on and so on and so forth. There's a lot of false information out there. And a lot of people were, indoctrinated that hot peppers would give you heartburn. If you watch old commercials from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, even some still today, they will show they're trying to sell some kind of antacid or something, and the commercial have a bottle of hot sauce, it's like, that's the problem right there. And so that's just not true. It's just people thought that because it's spicy, that's what was causing it. They were completely wrong. That has been debunked for the past 20-30 years. But people still, it's a good marketing scheme. They're like, oh, let's just put a bottle of hot sauce there on the table, and this guy holding his chest, and we'll sell some of this chalk and whatever this other stuff is. So with that being said, what I want you guys to do is comment below. Do it right now. Comment below some health benefits that you have maybe personally experienced from capsaicin. And also maybe some case studies. If you want to drop links, you're more than welcome. And this is something that my wife, you guys have heard her talk about it in some videos, but we wanted to just make a separate video on it and put it out there. We grow hot peppers. We make our own salsas and hot sauces and everything. We live this. I just had tincture in my coffee, So this is something that we believe in. And we've always believed in. Me and my wife have always been advocates for hot peppers, and I've grown them for years, and we love it. We love them. So yeah, the health benefits of capsaicin. Who would have thought it? Comment below your thoughts. Yeah.